This is James Lutton for Pro Boxing Fans. Delighted to be joined on Zoom today with Caoimhin Agyarko. Caoimhin, how you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm not too bad, mate. All good, thanks. Just finished the training session, so can't really complain.
Let's talk about that first of all. So you're out in Spain, is it?
Yeah, out in Spain, yeah.
Perfect. And obviously you're out there training with Billy Joe Saunders, preparing for his big fight against Canelo Alvarez. How's it been being out there and being around guys like Billy Joe?
Yeah, it's been very good, mate. Just finished up 6 round sparring today. It's been tough. Sparring's been tough, but I'm learning every day. Picking up the experiences, and I'm enjoying it out here.
Obviously, you was meant to spar Billy Joe the first time the fight was going to happen. And obviously, that was when the pandemic hit. They didn't fly out in the end, or they came back. I think they was out there for a little bit. And you didn't end up sparring Billy Joe on that occasion, I don't believe. What's it been like in terms of sparring Billy Joe and seeing the setup? Obviously, he's a world champion. Seeing the setup he's got, obviously, out in Spain. How different is it to your normal setup?
Yeah, of course, it's a lot different than training in Bromley at the iBox gym, but this is what I expect it to be at this level of fighting. Do you know what I mean? Billy's preparing for the biggest fight of his life, so it's been a real eye opener for me to see what it's like to be at this level. And like I said, I'm enjoying it.
And I can imagine the weather's a lot better than Bromley as well.
Yeah, definitely. It's 20+ degrees every day out here, so I can't really complain. But yeah, no, it's roasting out here, so I'm enjoying it.
Fantastic. In terms of, obviously, with Billy Joe, like I say, it's the biggest fight of his career. In terms of the actual, obviously, you're coming in for sparring, your style is sort of meant to mimic Canelo's. First of all, what sort of a compliment is that for yourself?
It's a huge compliment, you know what I mean? Billy asked me this time last year to help him prepare. I went down to Manchester and sparred him. He kept his word. He said to me, if the fight happens, I'll definitely bring you out. So it's a massive compliment. Even though it didn't happen, the Callum Smith and Canelo fight, I was meant to help Callum prepare for that fight. So it's good to see that world champions are picking me or recognise my style as probably the pound for pound best fighter in the world at the moment. Do you know what I mean? So it's a great compliment for me and shows that I'm doing something right.
In terms of your style, have you studied Canelo? Do you try and mimic Canelo at all, or is it just your natural style and it just so happens to be fairly similar to Canelo's?
Just happens to be very similar. I don't try and be anyone but myself. I'm not out here trying to be Canelo. I'm not out here trying to throw certain shots that Canelo throws. I'm out here trying to be Caoimhin Agyarko, and if that's good enough for Billy Joe, then it's good enough. If not, then you can send me home. But as of yet, it's been good enough for him, and I feel like I don't need to. I don't look at myself as a sparring partner. Do you know what I mean? I'm an up and coming prospect, and I've just got a certain style that happens to kind of be very similar to one of the best boxers in the world at the moment.
And what's the plan? How long are you out there for with Team Saunders?
I'm not too sure. It's as of now. I'm out here until the 31st, I think. But it could change. And then back to London for a couple of days, and then hopefully out to Vegas.
Fantastic. So say obviously he'll go out to America to obviously acclimatise to the time difference, still the weather. Things I was going to ask you, are you planning on going out there, or at the moment you're sort of unsure but hopeful?
Yeah, as I've been told that I will be going out. Things could change, but I hope to go out. As of yet, I think I'm on that plane out there.
And in terms of Billy Joe, obviously he's still fairly early on in the camp, but how's he looking?
He's looking good. He only started sparring last week, so it's been the start of camp for him. But he's looking good. I'll not say too much.
Obviously, there's been a lot of we know what Billy Joe's like. He likes a bit of a laugh. He likes to lead people down the garden path as such. So there's a few things he put out on Twitter, so, saying how he was overweight, how he's not looking after what he's eating. There's one tweet he put out how he'd injured his scrotum. Is that what he's like in camp? Do you get all the jokes? Do you get all the banter? Is that what he's like as well outside of social media?
You know, he actually has only started sparring last week, so he's actually not relying on the training part of that. But yeah, you know, it's Billy Joe Saunders. Billy's one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. He likes to help out and stuff like that, but he loves to have a bit of cracking jokes and a bit of a laugh. And I think you have to. I mean, you can take boxing a bit too serious sometimes, and you kind of have to find the balance and kind of being serious when you have to, and letting the hair down when you have to. And I think that's what you get with Billy. In training, he puts it in, but away from that, he's all laughs and jokes, and he's a great guy to be around.
Absolutely. Let's talk a bit about yourself now. Obviously, last time we spoke, you was hoping to have a fight date by the end of this month. I don't know if that's likely now, obviously, with your working with Billy Joe. Things like that looks like probably a later date. When are you hopeful of getting back in the ring yourself?
It was meant to be the start of May. Things have changed a bit. I'm hoping end of May, June time. Nothing's in concrete yet. But I will be fighting for WBC International title next.
I was going to say, I saw on social media, Francis Warren tweeted, offered Idris Virgo the opportunity to fight yourself for that title, as you mentioned. Let's talk about Idris very quickly. I mean, a bit of back and forth between the two of you. What's your opinions on the guy?
You know what? I don't even want to talk about him because he's not worth me talking about. What's there to talk about? We offered him the fight. My manager put it to his manager, and somehow he's clawed his way out of it. Do you know what I mean? Look who he's fought. Do you know what? Fair play to him. He likes to go on Twitter, have a bit of banter and call people out. But I'm a fighter. I'm a true fighter. I don't disrespect anybody. If I want to fight you, I'm not just saying it. I'll fight you. Do you know what I mean? And I'll fight anybody. And that's what I'm in this game to do. Do you know what I mean? I'm in this game to beat the best people, test myself, and pick up as many titles as I possibly can. It just isn't in this game to do that. He wants the fame. Do you know what I mean? He wants the fame. He come off of Love Island with a bit of fame. He claimed that nobody knows me, but yet I've more followers on Twitter than he does. A lot more people would know me in the boxing world than they would know him. Up until Love Island, I didn't even know he was a boxer. Do you know what I mean? So I don't feel like I need to talk much about him. He just wants to get his name out there and talk on social media, but he doesn't want to fight anybody. He's fought his last 3 opponents have had 229 losses. Do you know what I mean? And he's saying that I've fought nobody. I've fought 4 or 5 people with winning records. I fought a kid in my second fight who was 3-0, 3 KOs. Fought Paul Allison, who was 6-1 or 6-2, who the only person to stop him was Chris Eubank. I stopped a kid who had never been stopped in 12 defeats. I stopped Jay Smith in a very tough fight, who was 11-1. So listen, my record speaks for itself. I'm not out here saying that I'm fighting. I'm a world beater. I'm fighting top lads, but I'm progressing nicely. I'm beating lads. I'm stepping up with each fight, and he's fighting journeymen who don't even have wins to their name. So he's not even worth talking about.
In terms of not just Idris, but you mentioned obviously people calling people out on social media, people dropping names saying, I want this person, that person. Almost some people can try and call out above their station as such. What are your thoughts on, or your opinion on people who do that, who appear to be just doing it for chasing a clout?
Listen, if you want to build your career that way, and do it, but you'll get found out in the end. Do you know what I mean? If you're people will get sick and tired of listening to you. Do you know what I mean? If you're gonna say sitting disrespect over fighters on social media and then go in and fight a journeyman for peanuts, you're not really. Do you know what I mean? He's probably getting a couple grand to fight, if even that, to fight kids at 0 and 9. When he could be making 15, 20 grand to fight me, but he's not. He wants 100. He asked for 120 grand. I don't even know I know world champions who didn't even get that for world titles. Do you know what I mean? So, he's praised himself out of the fight. He doesn't want the fight, and that's okay. If he don't want the fight, he doesn't have to take it. He's 9-0. He's still building his career, but don't come on social media trying to call me out or say I've got no power. you're nine wins with one KO. Do you know what I mean? And you're literally fighting big men. You're fighting journeymen who you should be stopping. I'm fighting people who are tough to stop, and I'm stopping them. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like I think he's a joke, to be honest. He's a disgrace to the sport in terms of I'm not a disrespectful fighter. I'll if you disrespect me, yes, certainly you'll get it back. But I will never disrespect the fighter. Even if I call the fighter out, I'll be very respectful in doing so. I'm just a fighter that wants to fight and become world champion. You know what I mean? But someone like Idris he's in the game for the fame. Do you know what I mean? He doesn't want to be a boxer. Doesn't want to put it on the line. And that's just the matter of fact. Do you know what I mean? But that's enough talking about Idris.
You mentioned a moment ago as well, you're very pleased with your progression and how your career's going, and you've also said that your next fight will be for the WBC international title. Obviously, that title should give you a decent ranking with the WBC. So I'm assuming that is the route you're looking at, 2 world titles with the WBC. Why have you and your team come to that decision, if that is the case?
Listen, I've said it from day one that I got into professional boxing to be a world champion. I didn't get in this game to. I've never had a thought of being British champion, Commonwealth champion, European champion. That's never been a dream of mine or something I've wanted to achieve. It's simply to become a world champion. And although I have said if I have to pick them titles up on the way to get there, I will. But if I can go down the route of WBC, IBF, WBO European, something like that, I will. And the WBC international was presented to me, and I said I'd take it. It doesn't necessarily have to be the WBC title that I go for first, but I want to get myself in the top 15, top 20 in the world, and then just progress from there. Do you know what I mean? Listen, I'm only 8 fights in. Although I keep on saying to myself, I want to rush, like I want to keep on progressing, step up, and get to the world titles as soon as possible. But I'm 8 fights in. I'm 24 years old, so I just got to remember that I've got to take my turn, take my time, and keep progressing, keep learning. And being out here, I'm learning so much. You know what I mean? And this will add so much to my game and so much experience to my fight. So it's not necessarily that I want to just jump in there and get to a world title as soon as possible. But the WBC International was presented to me, and I took it.
In terms of for yourself, I know it's not always in the fighter's control or the fighter's choice as such, but if you could handpick your opponent or a couple of options for your next opponent, who would you look for? Would it be somebody above you in the WBC rankings? Would it be somebody domestic level, sort of somebody in around Britain, Ireland? What would you pick out, or who would you pick out?
Idris, no, just so I can beat him up. Do you know what? It's a tough one. I get asked this all the time. I don't even look to see who's around my weight. Obviously, I know roughly. Like you've got the British champion Bentley. You've got Felix Cash. There's a couple others that I know of, but in terms of like the WBC and who's ranked with them, I haven't a clue. I just want whoever's put in front of me, I accept the fight if it's the right money and it's the right fight for me at the time. As long as I'm progressing, and it's the right step up. I felt like the Jay Smith fight was a perfect step up for me at the right time. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like I want another step up above that level. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to go down the domestic route. Reason being, I don't want to go down, I haven't even spoken this. Reason being, I don't want to go down the domestic route is because I'm not English. I'm not British. I'm Irish, and I wear that proudly. I'm an Irish fighter, and I don't feel like I want to box for the British title or box for the Commonwealth title or like Southern or English. You know what I mean? It holds no value to me. I would soon rather box for the Irish title than I would for like a Southern or English. Do you know what I mean? And like I said, whoever's ranked above me or next in line for me, I'll fight. But I don't necessarily look at certain fighters and be like, I want him or him. I get told 4 or 5 names, and we pick the best opponent that's been given to me. But people got to remember as well, not a lot of people want to fight me. I've had so many fighters turn down the fight, so many unbeaten fighters turn down the fight. A lot of fighters who are good fighters, but just price himself out. Do you know what I mean? Like, there was a kid that was 8-0 that wanted 20 grand to fight me when they were like they're on small hall shows selling tickets and they're never going to get that. Whenever they would have got maybe 10 grand to fight me or 8 grand to fight me, which is probably the biggest payday that they've ever got. So it's very tough for me to get certain fights. But I feel like I do want to. Do you know what? I like the thought of fighting a couple of domestic guys, but I want a couple of tough European guys. I mean, that's been ranked in the WBC or WBO or something like that. Do you know what I mean? And go down that route.
For you, how frustrating has it been? Obviously, you're trying to progress your career. Like, so you're 8 fights in, but there's people who won't fight you, price yourself out. You know, you're very high risk, low reward for people who are trying to progress their careers also. How frustrating is that for you when you're trying to progress yourself?
It is very frustrating, of course. I want good names on my record. You know what I mean? I don't want to be fighting people who, like, I don't want to be fighting journeyman week in, week out. You know what I mean? Or anything like that. But like Jay Smith, he took the fight on 2-3 weeks notice, and when there was a kid at 15-0 didn't take the fight, and 2 former British champions who didn't take a fight, one fought for a world title, didn't take the fight. So it is very frustrating for me, but I've got to be very, very, very careful as well that I don't take fights with certain fighters who are, because other fighters aren't taking it with me, and then I jump into the deep end too quick, even though I believe in my ability and my skill set. I'm a fighter, I'll fight anybody, but I've just got to be careful there as well, that it's got to be the right fight for me at the right time.
Definitely. You mentioned a fight earlier on, British title, Commonwealth title holders, Felix Cash and Denzel Bentley. Obviously, Denzel's also a Frank Warren like yourself. Looking at Denzel's career, and obviously he's got a British title now, and you've seen Frank Warren guide him to the British title. Does that give you faith in your promoter that he's going to do the same thing, guide you to these titles and guide your career to where you need to be?
Yeah, without doubt, I think Frank's done a great job with someone like Denzel Bentley, and I do have faith in Frank to guide me to the top. I think when I'm back from Sparring with Billy Joe, I hope to sit down and actually draw out a plan for after this fight. Do you know what I mean? For after my next one, but I have a lot of faith in Frank. Do you know what I mean? He's got me a WBC international title after 8 fights, so it just shows that he's got a lot of faith in me and he's willing to invest in me. And as long as I keep on providing wins, he'll guide me to the very top.
And just the last one from me, Caoimhin. In terms of that fight, Denzel Bentley and Felix Cash, how do you see that playing out? Break it down, give me a little prediction.
Oh, do you know, it's a very tough fight to call. I feel like Denzel Bentley is probably the better boxer on the back foot, but Felix Cash is definitely maybe the more aggressive fighter and come forward and can put a lot of pressure on you. Both are heavy-handed. Both are very heavy-handed, and I feel like, you know, I've said from the start that I'm going to go with Denzel Bentley. He's my stable mate, and I've sparred him before. He's strong and he's awkward, and I think his awkwardness might just be a bit too much for someone like Felix Cash. So I'm gonna go with Denzel on points.
Perfect. Caoimhin, thank you for your time. Appreciate it as always. Good to speak to you.
No problem at all, James. Thank you very much.